Hello, Mazers! I am Kazuo Maeda, coming from the Imigo Softworks HQ, and we're going to play some Phalanx today. I see a lot of you guys already online. Yes, and to your specific comment, Citizen Cybertron, if you're still having issues with your pledge, please be sure to shoot us an email at social@starrmazer.com. I apologize for the delayed response that we've been having lately. As you know, I am not with Don or Vanessa or anybody else because they are at GDC, along with Austin, the lead developer for Starr Mazer. And then when they come back from GDC, we are all heading off to Boston for PAX East, us being Don Thacker, Vanessa Williams, Josh Gelb, and myself. Austin will stay here, though. And then after we're done in PAX East, we are going to head down to South by Southwest. So it's going to be absolutely crazy until mid to late March. Cool, cool. Jim, am I dropping frames? I'm not sure. According to my stream, I'm not. So that I don't know. I don't think I am. You see a reverse Triforce. I'm not sure where that's coming from either. Well, let us get this show on the road. Just get everything up. Unmute the audio. So you guys at home, please let me know if the audio is too loud or too quiet or anything like that with the game versus my audio. Testing out a couple new settings, all that good stuff. Alright. So, this is really exciting. I've never really played Phalanx before. It's a classic shmup from the Super Nintendo days. I don't know if Don's played it. Perhaps. It looks pretty cool from the title sequence that I've been seeing cycle through and through again. Probably the most interesting thing I found about this game is the American box art. I'll show it to you guys. It's this. It's like a old farmer guy with a banjo and a spaceship in the back, and it says Phalanx. This. Thank you very much, Toastby, for subscribing to us. This is a very interesting box art. As a kid, I would not think that this game would have been a shmup. A side-scrolling shmup, I would have thought it would have been like a simulation game like SimCity or Harvest Moon or something with farming. Cool, cool. Alright, so the volume is good. Let's play this. As I said before, I've really never played this before, so we will see how it goes. And apologize if I miss some of your comments. I kind of have them down here by the side. Alright, see if I can keep an eye on you guys while I keep an eye on the game. Alright, execute mission, system configuration, sound test. Thank you very much, Radical Fish Games, for following us on Twitch. Okay. So if you guys do have any questions about Starr Mazer or whatever, you can always ask me. I'm more than happy to answer for you guys, though I will not be as expert in certain subjects as Don Thacker or Austin Montville would be. So don't ask me any hard questions. Alright, let's do this up. So let's execute the mission. Now I find it very interesting that a lot of games have sound tests. I remember as a kid, a few games that I really liked the music, and I would do the sound test to listen to the music again, but I never understood why you would listen to the sound effects again. Alright, let's do this. So, pushing buttons. So it looks like in this game there's a speed mechanic that you can change at will. Unlike, what do you call it, Gradius, where you had to earn the speed-ups by power-ups, which I always thought was interesting. Whoa, okay, so you can take multiple hits as well. Looks like I have a little life bar down there in the bottom left. So that's one thing I always thought was interesting about Gradius, is you had to earn the speed-ups, which would kind of suck when you would die and you'd lose it all. Man, I am just getting all different types of weapons. There's got to be a way to cycle through them. Okay, so it looks like it's X. And it looks like the weapons are in the bottom right. I have H, E, and L. Looks like homing, E, maybe like energy. It's some type of charge shot, and L for laser. I'm gonna stick with the homing for right now. Pretty dope flying around me. I assume those are probably bombs. Good old classic boss warnings. Now it's interesting because Don's designed games before in the past, and every time he plays games like this, he always mentions things about the parallaxing, which is basically the amount of layers in the background that are scrolling at different rates to give the illusion with 2D sprites of depth. So here I can see that in the clouds themselves, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers of parallaxing, and it does really make the effect like you're moving very quickly through space. Though it's really subtle, I think it's very effective, and so far this game's graphics hold up. Whoa, okay, so now I'm all superpower, so it looks like maybe these weapons also have multiple levels. Now, I really love shmups. I grew up with a Sega Genesis as opposed to a Super Nintendo, so games like Phalanx are new to me. But I always thought homing attacks in these types of games kind of felt a little bit cheap, because then you're not really so concerned about firing on the enemies and positioning yourself against the enemies. It mainly just becomes about dodging bullets and then just letting your homing attacks take care of the rest. I think probably the most egregious most egregious example of that for me was Castle Shikigami, which one person's strong attack was just this homing attack, and you could just sit back and just concentrate on avoiding bullets, which wasn't too fun in my opinion. I always liked the big spreads. But this one so far appears to be pretty effective, just dodging bullets from the guys in the background. So yes, Diginico Dan, this is Phalanx. So we are Starr Mazer, as you know. We are designing a side-scrolling shmup action or point-and-click adventure game. So games like this, we are also taking a look at to play and think about what is good from them, what is bad from them, things that we would improve when we make Starr Mazer. Because obviously we're not just gonna make, you know, R-Type or Gradius and then combine that with Monkey Island. We're gonna try to make something new. All right. Saw a question in there. What's your top 3 Genesis games growing up? What are your top 3 today? So I guess for the Sega Genesis, what I grew up with, the big games that got me were Sonic 3. I love Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, but I always had that Sonic and Knuckles cartridge, so you would combine Sonic and Knuckles with Sonic 3, and you get to play as Knuckles through that game. Oh, so good. That game, Robot Assault, or Android Assault, which was on the Sega CD, which was a side-scrolling shmup, I played a lot of. And then other than that was Columns, which is this kind of like Tetris knockoff game where you match up jewels, basically, as they fall down through the level. It was very interesting. It was a lot simpler than Tetris because it was just like a vertical block of 3, and then you could cycle through them what would come down first. But you didn't have to manage like a stack or anything. Alright, I died, so I lost a weapon. Get away. Get away. There's another question. And I guess for my top 3 today, I guess for Genesis games, I really don't have a top 3 anymore because I really don't play it. So it'd probably still be those good old classics that I remember, which would be Android Assault, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and Columns. Yes, Columns. Columns is great. I remember playing the game so much. Me and my friend, we'd always start off on like the hardest difficulty where you'd get extra bonus points. Oh, Rocket Knight Adventure, Cerberus asks. Yes, that was a wonderful game, though I never owned it. My friend owned it, and I would play it every now and then in his place. I mainly just played like really crappy games, like Sonic 3D Blast. I guess I was a pretty big Sonic fan. Other than that, I also remember playing a lot of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, one of my favorite games of all time. And to answer your question, Pragma, I never have played Biohazard Battle. Also, I did miss Thunder Force 4, Medius Bias. So growing up on the Sega Genesis, I only had like 3 games, which was the games I just said that I really enjoyed. I really didn't have too many other games. For me, for me, it all started really with the PlayStation. That when I had my own job and I could start to afford to buy my own games. Because before then, on the Sega Genesis as well as the Nintendo Entertainment System, I was just kind of whatever my parents wanted to get me, what I asked for my birthday, and then whatever my friends had. My friend always had like the Sega CD/32X systems together, so every time I went over there I would always play this like pseudo 3D games like Virtual Fighter where you're fighting on the moon. Whoa. Always had fun. Ah. Wait, is Skinny Tie in here? Oh, hi Don. I know you're super jealous. I'm at the HQ playing Phalanx on your Retron, which is actually really cool. I enjoy this retro console. Works really well. Oh no, how did I do that? Actually, I just wanted to order a older YouTube broadcast. Was there a full explanation of the Guts and Bucks system that explains the shmup and power-ups? So, Von Osborne, no, do not load. You might want to check out, not under live relays. Live relays are all of our Twitch broadcasts, which there are one towards the beginning where Austin and Dawn examine the Guts and Bucks system, and they're also talking about the story. There's also a video under Building Relays, I believe, which is an interview with Austin Montville talking about the game and how it's going to work. So, as far as I know, what the Guts and Bucks system is Bucks is a form of currency that's used throughout the Starr Mazer universe to procure goods, to procure services, as well as upgrade and buy new items and weapons. Just very similar to currency we have these days. And then the Guts system was more of like a personal growth system that would have been earned by performing risky maneuvers while in the shmup sections, as well as making risky decisions in the point-and-click sections. This is what I've gathered from talking with Austin Montville about it. Oh, and to answer your question, or Fuzzy Ski, I loved Twisted Metal back on the PlayStation. That was awesome. Back when they didn't really figure out the control scheme, so like up was go and L1 was machine gun, and they had weird buttons like that. This is an interesting level here. So the water pushes you back. So am I flying up? Whoa, am I flying up in space? Oh, those are bad guys. Or am I flying forward through like a force field, or... Jeez. Okay, fly up. Wah! This water is pushing me all over the place. Wow, this game's pretty brutal. Alright. It's hard to see in this game what is the background versus what is going to damage you. Like some of these like solid pieces like this right here, it to me for a second looks like you're not going to be able to fly through it. Like you have to avoid it. Wow, these sweeping guys are pretty cheap. Ah. So it looks like we are in water because that's some type of mecha fish coming after me. So yes, Skinny Tie, who is in here as well. That is Don Thacker. He is right now in San Francisco attending GDC, which is why he's not here playing this awesome Phalanx game, it's very interesting, I have to say, having never played this game. I do like the art style quite a bit. But yeah, he's in GDC along with Vanessa Williams. So if you're down there, know anybody else down there, oh, man. You can find them down there. You can also find them on Twitter at Filmet or at Skinny Tie. They're posting a lot of cool photos of what's going on down there. And then later this week, we will all be heading up to Boston to go to PAX East. So yeah, if you're up in Boston or the East Coast area, or you're going to PAX East, be sure to stop by and check us out. We'll be with Robot Loves Kitty, the Upsilon Circuit booth. That's where Don will be, and then Vanessa and myself will be just kind of running around, taking photos and promoting Starr Mazer. It's interesting. It's throwing like exploding fish at me. One thing I do have to say about this game is I do enjoy the fact how it's showing damage on the boss. Too many times in video games do you shoot enemies and they just start blinking orange and then they start blinking red way faster just to show that they're being damaged. And it's nice to see in a game like this the enemy sprite actually changing to reflect the fact that you've been shooting it in the face a whole bunch. Whoa, some classic slowdown. Okay, get in there. Okay. So I think that's quite cool about this game, getting to see the actual damage on the boss, which is nice. Good feedback, I like it. Those rods, however, are not very fun. Not a very fun enemy. Sorry I keep pausing. I keep looking at the chat to make sure that you guys don't have any questions or anything like that, so I can interact with you. Yeah, so it looks like everybody's just chatting up with Skinny Tie. Yes, so yes, please talk with him. That is Don Thacker. He's right now in GDC, as I said, in San Francisco, probably in a hotel room or on the convention floor, checking in on me, watching me play Phalanx on his Restaurant 5. This is a very interesting level. I do like the fact that you have to maneuver your way around all of these types of barricades in the way. It does kind of give it a little bit more dynamic level type, I guess, because you have to change, or actually you have to fly around all these obstacles that are appearing out of nowhere. Although, perhaps maybe something like that in conjunction with a stage that has like boundaries on the top and bottom that you also have to avoid would be very cool. Though I guess just having the water in there as well pushing you back does add pretty intense level of difficulty for me, mainly because you're always moving back, so it's kind of hard to maintain a position, especially when it's forcing you to fly around a narrow corridor that's created by those rods. I find myself being pushed back into them and thus taking damage. Get out of here. Oh man. So yeah, these guys are like farting out big old bubbles, which are kind of difficult to see in the background, or in the foreground to me. Ah. Man, I'm glad they give you 3 hits, because I am just getting worked on this game. Yes, Toast Beef. Kaz versus Mega Lobsters. Those guys, I really don't know what they are. One thing that I've noticed about this game so far is a lot of these enemies, like the big yellow robot, the blue robot, they kind of look like enemies I might have seen in other games. I'm not quite sure what they're from. They just look familiar. Maybe from what do you call it? Gate of Thunder. Maybe that's where I recognize them from. That's a game that lately Dawn has shown me. It's very cool for the TurboGrafx or Turbo Duo. Really fun shmup. This, however, is Phalanx. Oh, you can destroy those, maybe by shooting the red part. Maybe? No. So what I'm finding so far difficult about this game, sometimes a lack of feedback on what you can destroy and what you can't destroy in enemies. Like that. Like, I don't know why that one blew up. Because it's not blinking when I'm hitting it, so maybe it's just overall hits on it. I don't know. So perhaps in a game like this, that is where like blinking on the enemies could be effective, because for the most part before that I wasn't destroying any of them, and I just kind of assumed that they were just there and you would never be able to destroy them, so I was only focusing on avoiding them versus firing upon them. Cerberus, no, we have not sent the Pac-Man poster. That is this guy right here. So we still have this at the office. Yes, I'm pretty sure that when we all get back from all the different conventions later this month, we can probably sign it no problem. Will Starr Mazer feature multiple hit mechanics for the shooter sections? Now, this is something I was talking with Austin Montville about, because we were chatting about Brick, who's in the Star Wolf the whole time, and the idea is, oh no, so and shmups, you know, when you take one shot, you're dead. Your guy dies, and then somebody else just comes up in another ship. And then we didn't want that for Brick M. Stonewood though, because like if he dies, that's the end of the story. So there's going to be some type of multiple hit mechanic. There's also going to be some type of mechanic where even if you take full damage, you can still escape. We've been toying around with the ideas of perhaps, you know, some type of way to eject out of the ship, but still at a very high cost to repair your ship or something similar, so you couldn't just willy-nilly take a whole bunch of damage and then get out for free. You would pay the price. So yes, to answer your question there, we are really looking into having a multiple hit mechanic with the Star Wolf. Oh, okay, Digineko Dan says, I think the moving ones can break, which is interesting. Okay, by shooting at the base. One thing I've also noticed about this game is the art style. When you're just on the cusp of the water, you kind of get this really nice like rippling effect, which is pretty cool. Oh, I'm going slow. I am a fan of that. That is cool. In a lot of shmups I've played, when you go into the water, usually it just goes and that's it. But it's nice to see in a game like this that the water is actually affecting my movement, making this stage unique and different from the first, as well as slightly more difficult. And then having that little graphic on there just adds just a little extra bit of engagement. And then you can see it also happens whenever enemies enter or exit the water too, which is really cool. I still don't understand where this water is coming from. It's just flying horizontally through space. So it's like not in a pipe or anything, because I'm going in and out. Maybe it's some type of like water transport with a force shield around it that's penetrable by mass. So I do think it's cheap. If you look really closely, you can see there's a couple enemies in there that are really difficult to see. Interesting. So there won't be a situation where the Star Wolf will blow up and another one just appears with invincibility, Toast Beef asks. No, because if the Star Wolf blows up and another one, like the Star Wolf, there's only one of them, and it's piloted by Brick M. Stonewood. So if it blows up without somebody ejecting, that means Brick is dead, and that means it's game over because you are playing as Brick. Another one can't just appear because there is only one Star Wolf in existence. So they're not coming off an assembly line. It's a unique one-of-a-kind ship. So unfortunately, you're not just gonna have another one respawn. Yes, so that's that. Jim asks, so 3 hits and game over? No, 3 hits and then you lose a life here, and then you have like 4 or 5 life. This is in Phalanx. In Starr Mazer, oh man, in Starr Mazer we're looking at different types of mechanics, either armor mechanics or multiple hit mechanics or damage percentage mechanics, to see which one would make the most sense when taking damage from enemies, so you're not dying in one hit, and when you are taking damage, then it makes sense and it feels like it has weight to it. We also have to make sure that the shmup mechanics are easy to get into, because one of the main questions we get asked is I play point and click games, I don't play shmups. How am I going to play this game? So we can't make it so difficult or have that people who are not familiar with the genre not be able to get into it. So there is going to be lots of equipment that you're going to be able to get, lots of power-ups that you're going to be able to get that are going to make your time with the shmup sections a little bit easier. And if that means being able to absorb more hits or fly faster, man, I'm trying to anticipate his movement, but it's just kind of too quick for me. So yeah, as I said before, the boss is showing damage by like breaking apart. I think it's really cool, and it's interesting here that now that a part's been blown off, he's adopting a different attack style, which kind of makes sense. It reminds me of games like Jamestown, where they have multiple life bars, and once you deplete one life bar, they go on to the next type of attack motion. Come on. It's firing like little tomatoes at me. In Lords of Thunder, it was potatoes, and in Phalanx, they fire tomatoes at you. What's up with games firing fruit at you? Or vegetables? I don't know. Culinary food. What's up with that? There we go. Got it. Alright. Yes, that was a pretty big level. Oh, Cerberus asks if there's any other shmup where you don't respawn. I'm trying to think. The only, like, a couple other games I can think of is, like, Einhander, where I think you had, like, a total damage that you could take, but then I'm pretty sure you had multiple lives in that game. So I'm not too sure. Live system feels more like a really inherent shmup mechanic, and perhaps that's something that we might change with Starr Mazer. It's just, oh, okay, I take damage from the walls. Is getting away from that. We don't know. So I mean, this is all gonna come out with iteration. We're gonna play test the crap out of this game and make sure we get it nice and polished and to our liking. Why are you transporting stinks? Let's see. There's a couple other questions. Sorry, guys. Toastbeef asks, so there will be a retreat mechanic then? Yes, we are toying with the ideas of if you take too much damage, that Brick would eject out of the Star Wolf and then regroup back home, where another Star Wolf will be made at a really, really high cost to the player. So death in the shmup section might not be permanent, it might not end your game, but it would definitely have an impact on your playstyle. Now, if that means failing missions or losing resources, we're still toying around with different ideas. But yes, we are heavily considering creating some type of retreat mechanic. Ah, okay. Well, because if there's a retreat mechanic, Cerberus says, that might put you in a situation where you're like, should I retreat and do it over again, or risk my life and Star Wolf to try to beat him? That's an interesting point. Now, that also brings up the idea if we're going to have like saves or not, or how we're going to do saves. Because if you have like a save state before, you could be like, well, I'll just risk everything, and if I fail, I'll just load. So, thinking about how we would work around that as well, to make sure that if you do decide to gamble and die, that you're not. I don't know. This is all good questions for Austin Montville. He is the lead developer, as well as Don Thacker, who is the director of the game. So this is all just up in the air. We'll have to figure it out. We'll take some serious consideration. As I said, we're going to be doing iteration after iteration. This is what Austin Montville tells me every time. He's like, iteration, 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 because he's the game developer. He's made games before. I have not. So this is all brand new territory for me. I come purely from a player side. Jim keeps seeing a Triforce. I am not sure what you're talking about. Is it just like something behind us? I don't know. I don't know, Jim. Classic games are adverse to healthy eating, says Citizen Cybertron. Where is Bitwise? Bitwise is, I believe Bitwise is in the bedroom. Yeah, not out here. No love for me. So this is another interesting mechanic I found about a lot of shmups. In probably 90% of the shmups I've ever played, you take damage from touching the walls. Like that. And it sucks when you're playing games like Gradius and you've made your ship speed up to the max. And oh no. Was I supposed to know to fly forward? I guess so. And when you get into like a tight section and then you run into the wall just because you're going too fast, it's unfortunate. And a couple other games we've been playing on stream, like, oh god, it was a TurboGrafx 16 game. Can't remember the name of it, but they had items where you could start to glide against the walls, which is interesting. And then in games like Einhander, where you could totally grind against the wall and it wouldn't penalize you at all. So I'm curious about how we might treat that in Starr Mazer. Would we damage you? Would we kill you? Or would we just make it a part of the game where you can do it? So that's very interesting. Curious how we're going to do that. I'll have to talk to Austin about that. Man, these worms. Let's see, any other questions? Yeah, so She's Pizza is also on the stream too. You've probably seen her here quite a bit. Whenever pizza is ordered at the office or we have pizza, She's Pizza tends to show up. Super nice lady. Or super nice pizza person. So this is another interesting thing I've noticed about Phalanx, and as I said that I've really never played this game before, is that section earlier where it just expected you to know to fly forward without taking damage. That seems to me like almost like a. It seems unfair to me because they just close immediately, and then my first thought is, okay, well, it'll open back up, and it's teaching me that there's going to be items or obstacles later that are going to close on me that I'll have to manage and get around. But here, nope, they just close it, and if you're behind them, then you're done, or you're going to take a hit. So that to me felt a bit unfair. I like games where they start to teach you a little bit, and they set up the expectations for the level, usually in some type of like easier thing, and then you figure it out later on again. The Cerberus has a good point. If we're going to be able to make dead bodies searchable in the point and click sections, for example, if you were to blast somebody and then you went up to search them, and many other games like that where you can search dead bodies, I'm not sure. It's a good question. Skinny Tie's on here. He might have an opinion on that. Austin Montville might have an opinion on that. I honestly don't know. I guess from my idea of what a point and click is, which is games like The Fate of Atlantis, though I don't have too much experience with them, I do sort of understand how the games work and how the genre works. I've always felt like the items that you pick up always have very specific meanings, so I would feel that if you were to collect items from dead bodies, that they would have to be some type of like consumable or something that's very common that you could get a lot of, that you could potentially get off of multiple bodies. But that's just me. This weapon is difficult. It only fires up and down and not straight forward. This is an interesting weapon though. I like how it bounces off walls. It kind of gives you a little advantage in these little tight corridors. Man, these like parasitic worms are just everywhere. Am I flying through somebody's guts or something? What else? Looks like everybody's talking with Dawn. And She's Pizza. Pizza delivery missions, or is it a pizza escort mission? Asks Toast Beef. So yes, if you're just joining us, we have Skinny Tie and She's Pizza in the chat right now. You can chat with them as well. I am Kazuo Maeda, the social media ninja, just playing some Phalanx, while the rest of the team is currently at GDC. And then later this week, we will all be at PAX East, which will be a lot of fun. So, looking forward to that. So right now we're just playing some good old classic shmups. This one is Phalanx on the Super Nintendo. I've really never played it before. So far though, it's a lot of fun. Really enjoying it. Yeah. That's a really cool effect when they go into the background like that. They just shrink the sprite down. Similar to the parallaxing we saw earlier, it just kind of gives the illusion of depth in this 2D game. Did not see him uncurl. Now I'm back to the pea shooter. I do very much like the fact that this game gives you multiple hits. After playing games like R-Type and Gradius where it's only one hit and you're done, oh man, you just get worked so quickly. You go through those 5 lives or 4 lives that they give you instantly. But here, you go through 4 lives and about 12 hits. The ship will flash, however, when it is hit, and I've noticed that when things flash on stream, due to the frame rate, it kind of acts funky with the models. Like I've noticed when we were playing Gate of Thunder, and you have the shield that flashes backward and forward. On the stream, it looked like it was only on one side or the other. Alright, so killed everything. We can have a boss. Let's fly forward. Oh, nope, it just started scrolling. Okay. What is that thing down there? I will have to say, I really do enjoy the shmup staple of always having like an alien level where you're flying through some type of like biomechanical fortress, and everything has got all the flesh on it. Whoa, what the heck? It's always interesting turn of events from blasting just ships. Looks like we got some like weird golems running around. Now let's actually, if you saw that before, there was an enemy who just went through the stage. I never did like that because I always felt that, oh man, I always felt that if I can't go through the stage elements and like it kills me, that the enemy shouldn't be able to go through stage elements, especially when you have weapons or items that can't penetrate the stage. Because if you're sitting behind a rock like this and they come through, you're only going to have a very brief opportunity to shoot them, which I never thought was very fair. So seeing enemies like that fly in their little pattern and just kind of go through everything always bugged me in shmups. Oh man. I'm hitting a rough patch, guys. Oh. 1 credit left. Let's do this. Klipsowski says 30 frames per second. Frame rate with flashing usually does make it end up being invisible. Oh, looks like Dawn is headed back to GDC. Peace out, Dawn. Thank you very much for popping in and checking out the stream without you in it. Unfortunately, you guys are in GDC. I'll be meeting up with you guys here later this week. Pizza's heading out as well. So, peace out to them. Toast beef. Will there be a button to slow down flight for precision flight? So in this game there is. It's just the right trigger. You can see there's a speed mechanic in the bottom right. In Starr Mazer, Austin has made it known that he would like to put in some type of speed mechanic. And as far as I know, the speed mechanic is going to be similar to this game, where it's always an option. You can just cycle through them. And not like Gradius, where you have to earn power-ups, or even like R-Type, where you had to earn the very specific power-ups. Because we want to make sure that you have full control over your ship and fly it the way that you want to fly it, instead of being at the mercy of finding power-ups. So interesting. They're almost like an option. I wonder if they do damage when you fly up close. Cerberus asks, do I know if the pre-production explosion when you die in the shmup section will be kept? Are you talking about the shmup explosion in the video that we have? No, you don't die in that video. The stock explosion. I'm not sure what you mean by stock explosion. You mean when they're blowing up enemies? Because that I'm not too sure about. I'm pretty sure that we will be working with our artists to make everything look as awesome as possible. So I'm pretty sure the stock animation we have right now for something exploding in the shmup section of the game isn't final. Nothing's final about the game right now. So yes, I'm sure something else will come up. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Cerberus says, oh, Jim, yes, the audio for the game might be a little bit delayed compared to my video. We're going through an Elgato capture card, and I've noticed that it does tend to put maybe about a half second delay on it, just a little bit, when it's interpreting it through the computer. And then Cerberus says, I really hope that you guys don't put a gas function for the Star Wolf. Yes, I would have to agree with you there. I think fuel mechanics in games like this definitely hinder things. And now in some games I feel that it does work because, you know, resource management can be fun and engaging. But in games like this, where it's not really about managing fuel resources or survival resources, it's more about playing the game and being the ace pilot, I don't think a fuel mechanic would fit in very well there. Now, I'm not the lead developer, so my say is purely from a gamer standpoint, but I would have to agree with you there. So Austin and Don will be making the final calls associated with that, though I've never heard of anything through the pipe of us putting in any type of gas mechanic into this. Oh, Toast Beef, have fun eating dinner, man. Oh, you call this a quality stream even without Dawn and Vanessa. I'm sorry that I don't have all the answers for you guys. Also sorry that I'm like split engaged with Phalanx and your comments. Because I'm just here by myself waiting to go to PAX East with everybody. Interpreting. Is that like multilingual potato? I guess so. Thank you, Toast Beef. Whoa, I try. Multitask. Play games while streaming, while reading comments off to the side. Oh man, these wall things are killing me. Literally killing me. But I never enjoyed the mechanic where the walls damage you. Now it's interesting, this is the third time that we run into these types of closey thingies, and I like how they kind of create a weaving pattern for you. Now, the fact that it closed and the only way you would have been able to make it through is being all the way on the right hand of the screen leads me to believe that there's some way to shoot them that would open them back up. But as a gamer, I found the strategy that works and I'm sticking with it, which is flying all the way straight forward, anticipating it. So let's kill all of these guys. Now this is another interesting portion of the game. Now is this simply like a timed area where like you have to kill stuff within the time, and if you don't kill them, it's going to force you to scroll forward, and if you don't kill those blocks in the way, you're going to take a hit? Or does it just wait for you to kill everything and then proceed forward? Because I've been here for maybe about 6-10 seconds and nothing. It's going to start scrolling here in a second. See you later, Pragmo! Thank you very much for coming up last Saturday. It was very fun playing Pogs with you. Maybe... Oh, okay. Maybe you just have to go all the way forward to start it scrolling. Otoshigami, hello! Thank you very much for joining us. This is Starr Mazer Television. I am your host, Kazuo Maeda. Don Thacker and Vanessa Williams are not here because they are in GDC in San Francisco promoting Starr Mazer, and so you have just me for today playing some Phalanx, which is a side-scrolling shmup on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah, so they're there, but you can always feel free to ask me questions. I'll do my best to answer them. I know a lot about the social media side of what's going on with Starr Mazer, and I can answer a lot of the questions about the game as well, but any specific like design choices or directorial choices, I unfortunately will not be able to help you out with that. But you can still always feel free to ask me questions. I am more than happy to answer them. But for right now, you guys get to see me fly through space with enemies shooting tomatoes at me. That guy is really strange looking. It looks kind of like a group of stones grouped together to be like a big old dude. Now every time I see him, I just think of like the stones that you get in Diablo 2 that you would combine together, the runes that you would combine together to make special rune words. It's also interesting to see that these flying green things around me are absorbing bullets. But are they actually also actively hitting the enemies? I can't tell. Thank you, Buzzy Ski, and everybody for saying that I'm doing a good show. I'm trying my best, guys. I'm trying to put on a very entertaining stream for you guys. Trying to comment on the game. I was watching some other people that do Let's Plays, and I was trying to figure out what they do that makes it engaging when they play games from a viewer standpoint, because they're very engaging. It's generally color commentary on the games, and I really want to talk with you guys too, because you guys are awesome. I really like all of the Mazers who join us on the stream. You guys are just a cool bunch of people, and I love you guys. Perhaps you can destroy enemies for energy that gives you power-ups or upgrades for the shmup sections. That way you can try to risk your health to power up the Star Wolf. That's interesting, Sturbrus. Having some type of resource that you can gather from downed enemies that would repair your ship or give you some extra life, so you could take more chances. That's interesting, or perhaps maybe a resource that you could use to upgrade your life. Or maybe a temporary boost. I don't know. That's very interesting. One thing I can imagine, it would be something like just leftover alien goo or something. It cakes onto your ship or something and gives you a little bit of protection for a little bit. Oh man. This looks like old NASA ship right there. One thing that's also been interesting for me in shmup games is the fact that you cannot shoot backwards. Games like Gate of Thunder address this by letting you shoot your options backwards by double tapping. I believe it was the switch. No, by double tapping shoot, it would turn your options around, allow you to fire backwards. Because right here, all I'm doing is I'm just staying at the front to draw him forward so I can pull back and shoot him, because I cannot shoot him from the other side. So I wait here, force him to follow me, come back, shoot him a few times, and then repeat. Oh man, I keep running into the scenery though. It's an interesting boss. It's just bubbles. Very, very aggressive bubbles. Maybe made out of acid or something. Maybe it's the little bubbles that you get that are ice cream dots or whatever from the fair. Spoiled, gone bad. It's funny, the stage is hitting me more than the boss is. Oh, no, that time was the boss. The tomato cannon got me. Always with the tomatoes. Fun fact, I actually don't like tomatoes. I know they're good for you, and a lot of people really like them. I just never really cared for them. And how many hits is this gonna take? Last, I don't think there's anything else special you have to do. You shouldn't have to shoot anything up there. Oh man, last hit of my last life. I don't want to do this stage over again. I think you have to shoot him to get through the bubbles and then shoot the core. There we go. Woo! Alright, let's see. Old-fashioned atomic power. Oh no, Otoshigami, I love potatoes. I don't like tomatoes. The red guys. I love potatoes. I love french fries. I love potato chips. I love everything about potatoes, especially baked potatoes. But I do not like tomatoes. Yeah. Ian Odia, that's what I got. You have to shoot in the middle. Oh, and I wasn't paying attention. I died. So this is another level heavily featuring the parallaxing feature, because it actually does seem like you're going through a nice big cave, which is actually pretty cool, very unique looking. Also, one thing to note about this game is those guys that are carrying your power-ups can kill you, and I've always hated that in games where, especially like R-Type, you see the guy with the power-up, and maybe he's towards the left-hand side of the screen, so just about too far, so you jump in front of him to try to shoot him before he leaves, and he ends up killing you. It's the worst. That's why in games like Gate of Thunder, actually, it was really refreshing to see, even though it was another ship that was delivering power-ups, you could never come into contact with it, and it would never ever kill you. Now, it dropping the power-ups and you going after those power-ups, that would definitely kill you, because you run into a wall, or you run into whatever, die. Whoa, there we go. I'm shooting backwards now. That's awesome. Let's do some homing. Homing missiles. Oh man, getting destroyed. Game over. Kaz, look at the screen. Oh, and the stage clears where you see the upside down Triforce. Interesting. Yeah, like, because your text to me is delayed by like 30 seconds. So you're like, I see a Triforce. I'm like, where? Oh, 30 seconds ago somewhere. Oh man. So I lost, and I have to try again. So we'll start from the beginning once again. Though now that I've gone through a lot of trial and error, perhaps I can make it through without losing as many continues. This is a fun game. Oh, I see right there. In the title screen, the upside down Triforce in Phalanx. The Enforce Fighter A144. The chat on the screen froze. Let me fix that for you guys. It would be nice if Starr Mazer has backwards scroll shoot-em-ups to keep it more intense. Toshigami, I would have to agree with you. In Gradius 5, like my favorite Gradius game, in like the 4th level when you're shooting asteroids, like halfway through, they start forcing you to go backwards without turning your ship around, without giving you any extra weapons to be able to fight backwards. You just had to know that that was going to happen, so you could get the power-ups that would have been necessary to be able to defend yourself going backwards. I think that's very interesting. Now, I have brought that up with Austin. I was like, well, what if the screen turns and you start going backwards, or you start going vertically? What would happen? I mean, would the ship turn around? Can you fly to the left? Can you fly only to the right? So I've been bringing things up like this to him. So the chat has froze. You are so right. Nope. Looks like it caught up. Okay. Alright, let's try this again. I'll try not to fail as hard this time. Now, what I've learned about these types of old shmups is they're always based around trial and error. Learning what to do so you die less. Later iterations of shmups like Gradius 5, I've noticed they give you a set number of continues that are too low to get through anything, so you die on the first level a couple of times, and then they start feeding you credits that allows you to get further but still continuously die and learn. So by the end of it, when you reach the max credit count, you are like a boss at level 1 and level 2, and then level 3 through whatever, you start grinding into all of the credits that you've earned. End of Earth Defense Force made you have to fly through everything backwards, just no enemies until the last boss showed up. That's interesting, like a shmup where, a level where there's no enemies, where all you had to do was get to the end without dying. Now, I think the game froze. Let me check this out. Pull out the cartridge, blow on it. Fun fact, we are playing on a Retron 5, which is, I believe, an Android-based multi-console console that has ports for all Japanese Famicom, NES, Super Nintendo, and a Sega Genesis port too in the back, which is pretty cool. Alright, so I reset it. We'll see what happens. Sorry about that, guys. Technology, man, it's the worst and the best. So, Ian Odia This is Don's Retron 5 that has all of the different types of ports in there. From what he's told me, he does like it. He has noticed that the first player port, Super Nintendo controller port, has had issues with a number of his Super Nintendo controllers, so not all of the buttons worked. Yeah, and he actually had to send it back in to get it replaced. And it still kind of has this issue every now and then where just with some Super Nintendo controllers, which do work on the regular Super Nintendo, have had issues. System configuration, let's just see what's in there. Oh, I was playing on easy difficulty. Whoa, I've never seen that. There's a funny difficulty. We are going to try the funny difficulty. Have I been using all the buttons I need? Shots, missiles, okay, special attack. Oh yeah, okay, you probably get bombs I wasn't using. Weapon select, okay, that's cool. We're going to try funny difficulty. This better be funny, this better be good. If you're going to put an option in your game that says funny in the difficulty, I better be shooting clowns or something. Oh, you were going to mention Star Ray, because it's a scrolling shooter that allowed the player to switch directions at will. That is very interesting. And I think of shmups that let you control the which way you're facing. It reminds me of games that would cycle around. The only one I can think of is Return of the Jedi on like the ColecoVision, where you could turn around and all you had to do is fly around shooting AT-ATs. Funny mode initiated, yeah! Now, I don't know if this is the Retron 5's fault. I'm pretty sure this is the cartridge's fault. It is I believe this one was donated to us. But on the bottom, it is quite beat up. Yes, Jim, I agree with you. I should probably clean the cartridge. I don't know if there's rubbing alcohol. So I got it again. I don't know if there's rubbing alcohol around. I'm not too familiar with The Office. Yes, Ian Odia, look at the box art for Phalanx. It is the best. The American box art with the farmer on the front with the banjo and the spaceship in the background totally never sold me that it was a shmup game. I thought it was a simulator game or some type of farming game. Oh, does it? Fuzzy Ski says the hidden funny mode makes the game extraordinarily difficult. But you say it's only available through the use of cheats. But it's available right here off the bat. So maybe, I don't know, maybe previous iterations of the game? The previous owner blew it into it too much. Yeah, maybe. I remember all my friends had different like methods about how they blew on their cartridges. Some of them hated it when I blew into it because they thought I was just spitting into it and they felt that the water would blow it up or something. Okay, let's try this. We are now funny difficulty. Maybe it's funny because it's difficult. I played a lot of shmups. Let's do this. Oh, I missed the power-up. That's so sad. Oh, man. I always thought it was funny in a lot of shmups when they get more difficult. When enemies die, they end up shooting you. It's an interesting mechanic. Also, it looks like here, when the lesser enemies die, they will shoot at you once with a rogue bullet. Very similar to the harder difficulties of Ikaruga. And then the hardest difficulty, they would always shoot the opposite colored bullet of whatever you were, which always threw a wrench in everything. Oh, man. So yes, funny mode isn't that funny. It's just difficult, which I guess is pretty funny. It's like this is the mode that you put it on when you give it to your friend who's never played the game. Oh, man. Alright, let's do this, boss. Funny boss. That's not too bad. Small little bullet pattern. I mean, there's a lot more bullets, but not going very fast. Yeah. Thread the needle. Although it's not too much like threading the needle. Every time I think of like bullet hell games, I think of the game where they always show on your ship like the little glowing dot. They're like, that's where you can be hit. And then everything else is just fair game to let bullets glide over you. Oh, man. Let's answer some comments or questions. Oh, sorry. Whoop. My apologies that you had to look at the mouse cursor right there. It reminds me, like on some videos or some user avatars, they'll put like a spider on there. They'll have like the default "I didn't set anything up" picture, but then they'll put a spider image on there to make it look like there might be some type of arachnid on your computer screen. Box art. Do you have Ikaruga to play on stream? I don't know. I don't think so. I think I could set up Ikaruga. It would be difficult because it is on the GameCube. Although we might have it on the Xbox. I would love to play Ikaruga. I love Ikaruga. Ah, it's so good. Don hates it. It is a bullet hell game. Not too much of a bullet hell, mainly because you can absorb everything. God, parallaxing is so good. I love how it looks like you are flying really fast over a city. It makes it look alive with all the different lights in the city on. The yellow, the green, and the red. It's cool. Alright. Yes, Full to Dream, I agree with you. Like in Gradius, when you die right before a boss fight and you go in with like nothing, oh, it's the worst. Because then you die more, and then they take away more stuff, and then you just go back into the game with even less. Okay, I'll dodge all these bullets. Oh, got too crazy there. End up driving backwards into a bullet. Ah! Okay, so that was funny mode. Funny mode is really just extra hard mode. I did not want to go again. I pushed B, which I thought would go back, but B went forward. So, I guess we're trying again. Let's do it again. So one interesting thing you might have noticed that I talked to Don about when I first saw it too, was in the game, in the video, you saw the Star Wolf going through a very, very, very tight corridor. And my first thought was games like this where you die in one hit when you touch the walls, and I was like, are you really going to put something like that in there where you just die in one hit? Or not one hit, but I mean like a very, very narrow section where you're going to have to navigate and it's going to be pretty much impossible. And he was like, yep. And I was like, okay, I don't understand how that's going to work. And he showed me this game. God, I can't believe I'm blanking on the title. It's like Arrow Fighters or something. It was on the TurboGrafx 16. It was on a Hue card. And it's this game that's a side-scrolling shmup, but it's very, very fast, and you end up going really quickly through the levels, and it's such a fast scroller, and it's really beautiful to watch. But in there, they oftentimes have very tight corridor sections where you have to navigate basically things that are only about twice as wide as your ship. Just absorbing all the bullets. And how they got around this, interesting, was they gave you a power-up that was labeled B. Don says it's for bumper or buffer or something like that, which is basically, it just puts like kind of like a shovel-looking thing on the front of your ship that basically allows that part of your ship to grind against the edge. Now you can still die if you grind too much on that side of your ship, or if you come into contact with something on the front or something like that, you can still die, and then you respawn without the shield, and then you die a lot more as you go through the level. But I thought it was very interesting, and it made the corridors very doable, very passable, and very fun and very engaging. So I'm very interested to see what Don and Austin put into place for Starr Mazer to make those corridor levels really come to life and playable. What else we got? People talking about Shovel Knight. We hate a Shovel Knight. A and B are reversed, so they advance in the back of menus. Now, actually, in this game, when I pressed A, it went forward, and I thought for a second, I was like, okay, there's got to be some button to push that will make the countdown happen faster. It would usually be the back button. For me, that was going to be B, and nope, it launched me right into the game. So now, next time, we're probably not going to push anything. Explosions. Will there be pixel art explosions during the shmup parts? The real explosion in the trailer are not very pretty. Jim asks, yes, most likely, as I said, we're going to be working with our pixel artist to really give Starr Mazer a very, very unique look. And I'm sure that, as I said, nothing is final in the trailer. We'll most likely be redoing a lot of things or making them better. So definitely, things are going to look much more beautiful than that. Since all the game is pixel art, yes, so like great condition. Now you guys are talking about some game. Aero Fighters, yes! Citizen Cybertron, it is called Aero Fighters. No. No, overhead shoot 'em up. No, he has it right here. Let me just grab it for you guys real quick. No, he doesn't have it right here. Well, believe me, it was a very fast shmup, and it was on the TurboGrafx 16, and there was 2 different ships, and player 1 got one ship, I think it was red, and player 2 got another ship that was gold. And when we played, Dom was like, "I get player 2 because it's the ship that he grew up playing and loving, which was the gold ship, which was awesome." Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it was Aero Fighters, though I'm not too sure. So many tomatoes on screen. Such a waste. Now I see you guys talking about some type of game in like mint condition in packaging. What game are you guys talking about? Looks like Fuzzy Ski has some type of rare game that he collected. A advanced, B equals back, right? Yes, I mean, Fawn Osborne, that's what I always thought. A was go forward, A advance, B was back. Now, I mean, like Nintendo and Sony are Japanese companies. I always thought it was interesting. In America, X is always proceed. It's go forward. It's advance in the menus. It's confirmation. But in Japan, it's circle. And I was always curious of that. I was like, was it because A is where circle is on the Super Nintendo controllers? So that's where that's where the OK button is in oh man, Japanese games. But it turns out Batsu, which is the X, that's what they say, Batsu, which means like no, cancel. That's why X is go back in Japan. Circle is go forward. And I thought that was very interesting. I'm gonna let the timer count down because I don't want to be on funny mode because it's not funny. Will there be a Starr Mazer HD remaster in 2056? We can only hope. Somebody will look back on it and be like, yes, this one needs an HD uplift to 816K or whatever it is in the future. They're going to make it like 3D. You're going to be in it, touching everything. It'll be awesome. Oh, Earthbound. Okay. That's another RPG that I unfortunately skipped growing up playing a Sega Genesis as opposed to a Super Nintendo. I also missed Super Punch-Out, which I always had to go to my friend's house to play, which was awesome. I freaking love Super Punch-Out. You should play Death Smiles on the Xbox 360. I'm not familiar with that game. I think I've heard it before. I'm not sure. I like lots of mini games and Japanese games. And Sims 2 Castaway for PlayStation 2 sealed. Hello! You don't see her, but there's Mahria Zook off to the side of the camera right now, also in the office. You want to try this game?
Oh gosh, why not?
Yes, we're gonna get Mahria Zook in here to try this game, Phalanx. Good old Super Nintendo game.
Okay.
Would you like to play on difficulty easy, normal, hard, or funny?
Dude, funny?
Funny is really hard.
That sounds awful.
It is awful. It's not awful. I'm sure if I were to get really good at this game, it would be a lot of fun to weave the ship through the bullets.
Yeah, let's I need a little sustenance here.
What difficulty would you like?
Let's do it on normal.
Normal. You got it. So why don't you scoot on over this way so the beautiful people in Streamland will be able to see Mahria Zook.
Hello, everyone. All right. Before we do this, I need a sip.
Get that good old I was about to say high fructose corn syrup, but there's no high fructose corn syrup in there.
No, just the stuff that rots your liver in the other way.
I like high fructose corn syrup. In fact, I've become
I like
so
imitation high fructose corn syrup.
interesting. I think it's funny like how we become accustomed to things because when I drink like the throwback sodas from like Pepsi that uses real cane sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup, it tastes weird to me and I'm like, well, I don't like this.
No.
No?
Out of the bottle. Like.
Well, yeah. Well, I drink them out of
Mexico.
cans. Perhaps drinking out of a bottle. Now, see, that's another interesting thing. If you have Coca-Cola in a bottle versus Coca-Cola in a can, which one tastes better?
In a bottle every
In a
time.
bottle. Now, is it because perhaps the aluminum adds some extra taste to the Coca-Cola, or is it maybe perhaps the way that you're drinking it in the bottle?
This was actually broke down for me scientifically the other day by accident. But yes, whatever the elements are that comprise glass, if I said that right at all, ultimately, yes, they leave less. They don't like add little tastes or whatever to saying it completely wrong. But ultimately, yes, you don't pull flavor and stuff. Like it's just the actual flavor that's in the glass versus like it pulling something out of the other elements that comprise any other material that it gets packaged or bottled
That's
or canned in. You're welcome.
A little bit of extra knowledge for you guys out on Starr Mazer Television.
So what are my Phalanx?
Phalanx. This is a game. Let me show you the cover art for the game. So you're going to be playing this game on the Super Nintendo.
Excellent. I sit in a rocking chair with a banjo myself, so
Quite common occurrence. So you're going to execute the mission, and we're going to blast off and try this out.
cool. Okay.
A is going to be your fire. The top button X is going to be swap weapons.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh, Jim says sorry that he troubled you with the music tracker music file. I saw your email back
goodness.
to him.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
that.
think I revisited it and it seemed like it worked just fine. It was just an issue I was having. So I think it's whoa. I'm dead already.
Oh no, so you can actually take multiple hits. You actually don't have to keep tapping it. You can also just hold it.
But what if it makes me? I just threw myself into a bullet. I just threw myself into something else. Maybe we need to go down to easy. God. Nobody gets to comment on how bad I am. Oh, look at that. Woo! I figured out how to move! Ah!
And then if you use the right trigger, you can adjust your speed from the very fast to slow.
Okay. Man, how many lives do I get? Because, holy shit.
You have one left after this.
It's literally taken me like 30 seconds to die. God, this is awful.
Oh, so Ian Odia says, I think it's actually both. The glass has less residue, and the fluid dynamics of a bottle are a bit different from the fluid dynamics of a can. Now, that's what I always thought. I always thought the way that you drink out of a bottle lent itself well to, like, rolling over your tongue. I don't know.
That makes sense. I agree with that. God, that was awful.
Okay, so you just let that timer count down. We can put it down to easy mode, which is...
No. Yeah, actually.
I was playing earlier and I was like, this game isn't too bad, and then I went to the options menu and it's default easy.
Oh, see? I just played it at a harder level than you had the entire time.
You did. Good job.
Yeah. I make a lot of sounds when I'm playing too.
Full
by the
Big
way.
Flank was said, I was just about to comment on how bad you were.
No need. We've discovered this by what the...
So yeah, system
Yes.
configuration.
Uh-huh.
Now, I think it's interesting that in the continue slot, it has an extra digit for tens. But we only get 4. Maybe you get extra later? I don't know. Maybe you just enter a cheat code and you get 10? Something.
I just haven't had enough peanut butter pretzels. That's what's going on. Also, God, it's been a while since I put on the old
Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo or anything like less than predating Xbox in general.
Cerberus says, Aladdin on Super Nintendo is really easy. Am I the only one who thought this? I played Aladdin a bit back in the day. I never owned it, so I can't comment on the difficulty. One game that I did play a bit of was the Lion King game, and I always thought that game was atrociously difficult, especially at the second level where you had to jump on giraffe heads and they would randomly drop you and kill you. That's no way to treat the future king.
That's no way to treat anyone, especially not the king.
Well, I mean, granted, he was stepping on their faces with claws.
Valid point.
So I'm pretty sure.
Why won't anyone die? Sorry, not you. I'm talking about the game.
I don't want to die. If you hold down the button, it does shoot faster.
Oh, it is shooting faster. I guess you went on that. Whoa! Wow, I need to stop holding down the trigger. I'm going really fast. There's no such thing as too fast.
Now you're going real slow.
Now I'm going. Why?
So it's 3 different settings. If you look on the bottom right.
Oh,
Yeah,
so when
you
I
cycle
keep pressing
through
it, I'm just like bouncing myself
Yeah.
back and forth between them.
Now that would be interesting, like if there was a turbo button that you could just hold and it would temporarily make you go faster as you held it. So you wouldn't have to like cycle through like, oh, I need to go from like medium to really fast and then back to medium. You didn't have to cycle all the way through. You could just be like, I need to go really fast right now and just like push a button. I should bring up that to Austin. That's an interesting mechanic.
That's a very interesting mechanic. I can't hear anything other than my like subconscious trying to stay alive right now.
Go for it. So Cantado says, will Starr Mazer be in side scroller the whole time? Just a thought. What if you could phase from a side scroller to a top view scroller to dodge attacks from the surface below, and then back view on certain boss battles? Through the level, it might be a bit too much when I think about it. Now, I remember talking with Don and Austin about this. Now, you remember games like Xavius, where you would fight on one plane, but there was another plane below you that your normal attacks wouldn't hit. But like you had a secondary attack that would be like a bomb or something that would drop down and fire right in front of you that would kill those guys down there. Don and Austin specifically said they do not want to have anything like that, where it's like 2 different planes where 2 different weapons will interact and you have to worry about those types of things. We want to have like one weapon system where it's going to shoot everything on the screen. Now, if those enemies are above you or below you or behind you, that doesn't matter. We're not going to have them on like a separate plane, basically.
Who was talking about how bad I am? Look how quickly I got better.
Yes, bold big flank. You have been proved wrong. She has gotten to the 2nd level with only
with 5 minutes of education.
Yes. Yes, but that is a very interesting idea, Quintero. Like, I remember a couple old PlayStation games like Ray Crisis, they would flip over to be like overhead, or Philosoma, which is one of my favorite shooters, it would flip to being like overhead and then behind the ship, and it was always these. I loved the perspective changes, though I'm not too sure what's gonna happen. I was telling Austin, I was like, well, what if it started scrolling vertically? That would totally blow your mind. We'll figure something out though. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. I would disagree with that. I was always envious of my friends' Super Nintendo. Like, Mortal Kombat was better on it. It had better cheat codes. They had better games. I mean, Sonic was great, but Super Mario World, man, come on. It's just too good. It's just so good.
So many things. God damn it.
Toastbeat says, wow, 1 difficulty change, and there's a lot less on the screen. Jeez. Yes, this is easy mode.
No,
So now there's only like 2 bullets per shot. And yeah, it's a lot easier.
It's not easier.
Jim says, pro tip to avoid a game over, avoid all bullets.
That's good advice.
It is good advice. What he failed to mention was you also have to avoid enemy ships, obstacles, and the sidewalls, because those will also kill you. Otoshigami says, why would anyone die? So 2015. Why won't anyone die?
It's a fair question.
Oh, Don's back in the chat. He says mad ups to you for playing the game.
Mad ups to you.
Full to Dream says, I mostly play Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super Nintendo. I had all the fatalities down. I remember playing good old fighting games back in the day.
Are we going to continue playing this one, or are we going to play something else? Oh, did I just... No, I'm not meaning to suggest that you change your content for the day. I'm just kidding. We can keep playing this game. It's talking to us. Wait, what the fuck?
Well, why'd you push the button?
God damn it! I just missed crucial information.
How could you?
I went back to the start screen. Sorry, you can carry on with your show.
Oh crap, I was supposed to have been in the lab an hour ago. Catch you all later. Oh, see you later, Citizen Cybertron.
Good luck in the lab?
Yeah, probably in college.
Have a good time.
Yeah, get to your class, get there on time, be safe about it, don't drive too crazily through the streets or bike or whatever you're going to do to get there.
We're gonna keep playing this game. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Go for it again.
God
I
damn.
suck against the CPU on Mortal Kombat 2 and Genesis. I couldn't beat one guy on the easiest difficulty. I always thought, like, back in the day, those AIs were super cheap. I mean, like, the easy AI in today's fighting games, like Street Fighter, I mean, they walk up to you, and they're, like, totally okay with you beating up on them. But, like, back in the day with, like, Mortal Kombat, you would throw out a rogue uppercut, and they would immediately, like, duck and then uppercut you.
Yeah,
It just had, like,
duck.
pre-programmed things in there to, like, if they do this, just do this, and it would always kill me. Because as a kid, I was like, I'm just going to walk up and uppercut. I'm just going to constantly try to freeze them as Sub-Zero. No.
Get over here.
Exactly.
That was my favorite.
Service says he owns, or she owns, they own 50-plus GameCube games. That's awesome.
Jesus, I didn't play much GameCube. I played it a couple times, and but man, yeah, everybody I know who had one was like diehard GameCube. So good on you, GameCube folks.
Yeah. That's one console I also skipped over. I had a PlayStation, and I kind of wish I had a GameCube. Oh, no, I loved my PlayStation because I love Gran Turismo. So I actually take that back. I loved my PlayStation very much.
It took me no time at all to run and do another shit.
Otoshigami says Nintendo has Mario, Xbox has Master Chief, and PlayStation has Sackboy.
Master Chief.
Master Chief, that's the main character from Halo.
Oh, hey, gotcha.
Yeah,
Iconic
Otoshigami,
characters.
Sackboy only came out in Little Big Planet, which was on the PlayStation 3. So thinking back to like the PlayStation 2, I was trying to think of like a mascot from that day, and the only one I could think of was like the Naughty Dog games. You can do it. You can do it.
Thanks.
Server says Resident Evil 4 is probably my favorite horror game.
That's PlayStation, yeah.
Yeah. It was released on GameCube, and then like a year or two
really?
later, it was released on PlayStation. It took it forever.
I just remember sitting there pissing my pants whenever anybody played that game.
I would have to agree. Resident Evil 4 was an excellent game. However, I don't think it was too frightening. I think it gave you too much power as a player to be like too scary. When I think of like scary games, I think of like the remake for Resident Evil 1, Silent Hill, or the games where they take even less fire, or they take even more firepower away from the user, like Fatal Frame, or even more so games like Penumbra and not Descent, Amnesia.
Oh, Amnesia, yeah.
Those games, oh man.
Amnesia, that's by
Frictional Games.
Isn't that by Frictional Games?
Yeah.
I've had some fun with
Yeah,
them.
and they're making a new game coming out too, which looks really awesome. So you should check that out.
Why am I just like sparking? Oh, I thought that meant I was like dead.
Yeah. So okay. They said Sony had Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. I totally forgot about Spyro. That was like back in like PlayStation
Spyro,
1 era.
Yeah.
I don't really remember any Crash Bandicoot games on the PlayStation 2. I think that's when they really transitioned over to like Jak and Daxter.
I
Yeah,
don't lie,
But
I'm a
Ian-
big COD fan.
they were all third-party games by Naughty Dog games. They were never by Sony. I guess for Sony, their like big game that they have is like Gran Turismo.
I have a question
Sure.
about myself, where only because I guess I just kind of like, there were certain definitely games that were close to my heart that I'd go back to, like obviously Super Mario Brothers and Contra and whatever, Mario Kart and all that, but clearly I cannot talk and shoot at the same time.
It is quite
It's
difficult.
very difficult. Wow. Anyways, but so I guess some of these like the indie game stuff. I'm always curious as to like people's like why I don't want to say it as why because that sounds like rude. It's like I'm questioning what we're doing here. But I'm always curious as to what people's draw to continue playing like retro and indie games versus just if there is a preference actually, I guess, to like the modern games.
I would have to say for that, at least for me, it would be the nostalgia of it.
Yeah.
Because I remember those good old games like
Certain.
Contra and like me and my friends, we played through Super Mario World. And we had a blast doing it. And I feel games like that, you have if the controls still hold up well today, they can definitely be replayable. We also played Super Mario Bros. 3, which compared to Super Mario World felt a lot more slippery, and we died a lot, and we set a goal to beat the game, and we ended up hating the game, like World 6 and up. We just hated it, and we were like, this is the worst game in the world. I'm so done playing this game, but we're so close, we just gotta beat it. But I absolutely hate Super Mario Bros. 3 now. I love it. It's such a great game, but I don't like it today.
Gotcha.
So I think, in most part, it's nostalgia.
Gotcha.
But sometimes it might be that the controls and graphics do hold up, that they are still playable.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I think you know, when they take that type of classic formula and then really update it for, you know, today's standards,
Like
when
what
they made,
we're doing.
yeah, when they made like the new Super Mario Brothers, and you know, they basically take the classic Super Mario Brothers formula but add new features, they improve the controls, they improve the graphics, and they just make a newer version of the game. I think that to me would be better than going back and playing Super Mario World again. But Super Mario World will always hold a nostalgia in my heart.
Makes sense.
So Ian says, part of what I like about playing retro games is that they're so much more stripped down than modern non-indie games. I'd have to agree, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, like Contra is very simple. Run around, one hit, you're dead, get power-ups, and you're done.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, games today, you said you like Call of Duty, where it's like managing all this inventory.
Yeah.
Not inventory, your 2 guns, but, you know, figuring out what to shoot, how to shoot it, where to go.
Yeah.
Modern AAA games are super overloaded on systems and mechanics, and it just bugs me down how much of them are half-assed, says the same guy, Ian.
Excellent. Okay.
I would definitely say, yeah, sometimes it sucks when they have so much that they're kind of getting bogged down, but you also have to imagine that there's so much work that has to go into a game like that. I can't imagine how much work it takes to make like something as simple as, not as simple, something like Call of Duty. Like, 'cause you have to have all the like the 3D modelers, the people making the animations, people doing all the collision, people designing levels, people designing all the things that make like the pieces of paper and the air go across the screen. It sounds like an intense amount of work.
So is it almost what it sounds like? Maybe a little bit of that is that people feel like it kind of pulls from what like they're what's in general.
Maybe.
Or just in general, the development of it. Yes, it's fascinating.
I would definitely say that I feel that today, these days, at least in AAA games, that so much emphasis is being put on graphics that's where like all the money and all the time is being spent. It's like, look at this beautiful world, look at the skybox, look at the water and how it reflects everything. And then you get in there and you just realize that, like, the game mechanics is just utter crap, and you're like, this is not fun. It looks beautiful.
It looks beautiful, but yeah. That's true. I mean, I think that's something that I would say in terms of with film and theater and stuff like that I could relate in that sense where, yeah, making something look really, really pretty pulls, you know, and having all the focus on that completely pulls from the actual story.
So, Toast Beef says maybe the draw for retro games, maybe some of it's that there is no exact modern adaptation of the gameplay. So there is really no modern Contra that's exactly like it.
Okay.
Maybe Contra 4, a little bit. Okay, but like other genres games.
But yeah, I get it.
Because Cerberus also says, I would take Tecmo Super Bowl over Madden 25 any day. And that's one game. There's no games like Tecmo Super
I don't
Bowl
want to
anymore.
hear, that's true. I don't want to hear Madden say one more time, what we're going to do is one team's going to score more points and then they win. Madden pointing out the obvious is all that Madden is.
Now, if the defense were just defending better, then the ball wouldn't go forward.
See, if they didn't get the ball into the end zone, they wouldn't have scored. And that's where we're at.
The defense just needs to play better.
It just needs to play better, yeah.
Ian says, Starr Mazer. Oh yeah, for sure. I have a friend who worked on the latest Call of Duty, and a bunch of friends who worked on the game in the game industry. Since I make games as well, there are tons of work that goes into AAA games. Yes. We are quickly finding out. Well, at least I'm quickly finding out. It's my first ever crew that I've been in with designing a game, but just seeing how much work goes in behind the scenes with Austin and Dawn and Vanessa and everybody that's creating the world, it's just monumental. For just, you know, a simple point and click shmup adventure game, it's just mind blowing how much work goes into that. I can't imagine AAA games
Is anybody getting bored with me playing this and dying over and over again? I just want to...
Can this please devolve into Madden quotes, says Ian? Toast Beef says, "You're always winning until you lose."
I got a fucking laser! Sorry, I just got really excited. Are we not supposed to swear on here?
No, we did put on the little thing that you have to click that says you're 18. You're okay with hearing words like fuck.
Cool. Like, this is Dawn's show ultimately, right?
True. Yeah, you know how much that guy swears, so we're good.
I'm getting
Laser Kid made it back to the stream before the show ends from class, so thank you very much for joining us. We are playing Phalanx on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Mahria is dying at Phalanx.
Dawn and Vanessa and Austin are not here. They are in San Francisco attending GDC. This Thursday, I will also be flying out and joining them as we go to Boston for PAX East. So that show is up in the air. We'll see what happens. You'll probably get either Mahria or Josh, or maybe even Austin, as he will be returning here, putting on some show. So, in short, Dawn, Vanessa are not here, so you get stuck with me, Kazuo, the social media guy, and Mahria Zook.
Failing.
And Phalanx.
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 Phalanx. Phalanx.
I got a laser. Zook 2015, says Otoshigami.
It did. It was like a double barrel laser or something. It's pretty. I wouldn't mind one of those in my home.
The best way to gain more yards is to advance the ball down the field from the line of scrimmage.
Is that another Madden quote?
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally just like, God, kamikazed myself.
Now, what do you think these bullets are?
I don't know, but they hurt. They look like little fireballs. They look like little fireballs coming out of... What the heck? What's his name?
Mario?
Yeah. Who am I thinking? No. Starts the beat? The
Bowser.
Bowser! Yeah, I don't actually know if Bowser actually... Just reminds me of the fireballs somewhere in Mario. There we go.
Reminds you of fireballs.
Reminds me of fireballs. Not the beverage.
Starr Mazer, we're witnessing the beginnings of a Phalanx god. I believe you are the Phalanx god that they so speak of.
In a couple years, yes, perhaps.
The legend has foretold
That if I die at least 1,000 times, I will succeed.
Service says they look like red kidney beans.
They look like red kidney beans. That sounds good. That sounds good on a taco salad right now.
Taco salad.
How is everybody today, by the way?
Yes, how are all of you awesome Mazers that are deciding to join us on Starr Mazer TV as we fail at Phalanx?
Torture yourself with watching this. Go away, missile! God damn it, am I dead again?
The missile does not respond well to auditory feedback.
It's ridiculous.
Speaking of yelling at video games, I heard that the latest iteration of FIFA, using your Kinect, detects if you swear, and if you swear, it will penalize you.
What?
I think that's a really interesting game mechanic, though I can see a lot of very pissed people becoming even more pissed.
Yeah, I could say so. God, I'm already late. Stop going so fast. What's this? Oh, that's me firing missiles.
Yeah.
Oh! Huh. Is it? I just see missiles coming over my head. I don't know if that's me. Why?
Fuzzy Ski says he's doing well. Rafa levels up, says long work day, researching where to move to. Where you planning to move to?
Yeah.
Rafa? Let's see. Cerberus has a fever.
Oh no! Take care of that, you hear? Ginger, apparently garlic, just like non-garlic cloves, will help you break a fever. I hear. I've never tried it. It does sound awful.
Oh, I like garlic. No one's gonna want to kiss you though.
No, don't do it. Don't make it a social thing.
It's 1:40 in the morning where Ninja Mushroom 134 is, but not too tired. Thank you very much for staying up with us. It is, what, 5:42 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here. So the sun's starting to go down.
Yeah.
Otoshigami says Link is piloting that ship. I don't know if you've noticed, but apparently there's a upside down Triforce all over this game.
Really?
Yes.
Son of a bitch. Some days it's just easier than others.
Oh,
Today is
Rafa
not
Levels
that
Up says
day.
he's going to be moving to the West Coast, LA
Yeah.
or Seattle, so you can stalk us. Yes, I mean, if you come up here to Seattle, we would love to hang out with you. We would love to have you on the show. That'd be cool.
Might be able to teach me how to play this game.
Now, I moved to Seattle from Colorado, and I must say that I was very concerned about moving to such a large city growing up in a smaller town. But I feel that Seattle is a very cool place to be. And everybody I've heard from that used to live in LA said it was just way too crowded.
I haven't made the move there yet.
You thinking about moving down to LA?
Well, acting and stuff, like, it seems like at some point it might have to be a thing, but my goal would actually to be to make things work here and just travel there ever so often. I really don't want to live in a concrete desert.
Yeah, it's not too long of a flight down there. It's
Yeah.
what, 2 hours?
Yeah, could be. Yeah, could make it work. But no, I don't have much of a desire to live in LA myself.
I think it's interesting that from Seattle to LA, Amtrak goes all the way down there, right?
I think so. Well, I figured, why would you throw me into there? It's a terrible way to start off. It's like spawning in the middle of a battlefield. Anyways, sorry, what?
Hmm?
I got really upset.
Amtrak goes from LA down to, or from Seattle down to LA. I've known some people that have actually used Amtrak to go from Seattle to Portland and back.
Yeah.
And it's like crazy expensive, I'm told.
It actually, that's the reason I actually typically don't take it, even though it may, I don't know, I guess it's better for the environment and I should do it more. This is hazardous to my health right now. But yeah, ultimately, like, it's cheaper to just pay for gas versus taking the train down to that far.
Full to Dream says, ironically, pot is legal in Colorado and Washington. It's funny that you say that. The first question I was asked when I moved up here, I was like, oh, I moved here. I just moved here to Seattle, and the first thing they asked me is like, you moved here because weed's illegal, right? So you can just buy it. I was like, I come from Colorado where it's already legal and you can go to recreational shops. And no,
Some health up in here?
I moved here for other reasons. Yeah, Amtrak from Seattle to Portland is $80 to $150. Jesus, that's a lot of money. I'll try now.
Thanks.
You can take over the comments.
That's cool.
Alright, guys.
Thank you for sitting through that.
Mahria failing at Phalanx. Now it's time for Kaz to fail at Phalanx.
How long have you been playing this?
Just today.
Has it been the same? Have you got farther than I did?
Yeah, I think I got to like level 3.
Aren't you cool?
I am cool, yeah. Look at that, see, upside down Triforce.
Upside down.
You see it? Or you
that
could
little bouncy thing down there?
no, up there in the title, right above Phalanx.
Uh-huh.
You see it?
The triangle?
Yeah.
Upside down?
Yeah.
What about it?
It's a Triforce from Legend of Zelda.
No.
Yeah. And maybe it's not upside down. Maybe it's just like pushed over onto its side.
Huh.
Something.
This is just a little homage.
Maybe. Now, every time I see those menus scroll by on the side, I'm very curious of what they are. And it makes me very jealous that I can't access it. Maybe it's something super secret.
Rafa would like to, says, actually, Kaz, may I reach out at a later time when it's good for you guys to talk a bit about Seattle?
Sure. Yeah. You can email us at social@starrmazer.com. Or if you don't want to talk to everybody and you just want to talk to me, you can email me at Kazuo@starrmazer.com. I'll be more than happy to chat with you about Seattle. Like, when I first moved up here, a little over a year ago, like, it was tough to like figure out what to do and like where to live. So if you are thinking about moving out here, I will be more than happy to share with you my experiences. Whoa, here in Seattle.
Nodia. I'm saying it right? Is that
It looks like Ian. I thought it was Ian Odia.
Oh, wait, okay.
That's what I thought. I don't know.
I just named a new thing. I think it's, yeah. I live in Illinois, where medical marijuana is legal, except it cannot be prescribed and you cannot get it. That sounds frustrating. Livable bodies contain toxins. Betcha.
What?
Rafa levels up.
You gotta say it louder so they can hear you. I can hear what you're saying.
I was just. He said, "Awesome, thank you."
Yeah. You're welcome. Rafa levels up. Feel free to email me at Kazuo at starmazer.com.
See up there. So Laser Kid. So any Starr Mazer news I've missed?
Starr Mazer news is we are all up in all of the conventions right now.
All of the conventions, all of them, every last one of them.
Starr Mazer is currently at GDC in San Francisco, meeting all the cool devs out there. Oh man, we are also planning on hitting up.
Hard to talk and shoot at the same time.
Yes, it is. We are also going to be hitting up PAX East here next week, and then right after that, we are going to head over to South by Southwest.
Yeah.
So if you want to,
the double laser.
I just got one laser.
Oh. Oh, apparently it never was a double laser. I just
You
noticed.
get a laser like this.
I really. Oh! It's whoa! You just triple lasered.
Triple laser. Skip the double altogether.
How did you do it?
So yes, we are
Anyways.
all up on all of the conventions right now.
That's most of what's going on. Yes. Austin, Vanessa, and Dawn are all down at GDC, and then they will be joined. Austin will return and on to PAX East. Kaz will be going on with Josh, producer. They will all be going to Boston, and Dawn and Vanessa will be meeting them there. And then Josh will return, and Kaz, Vanessa, and Dawn will move on to South by Southwest.
Yep. So if you're in the area and want to hit us up at PAX East or South by Southwest, or if you're already down near GDC, come hang out with the Starr Mazer crew. We'll be more than happy to hang out with you. You can tweet at us at Starr Mazer, and we'll be more than happy to respond and be like, yo, we're right here next to this booth.
Boom.
Yeah, you'll see me. I'll be running around with 2 cameras. You'll see Vanessa. You might even see She's Pizza, and Don will be there as well. And then, and Josh Gell will be at PAX East. Austin's currently GDC, as you know. We're like shuffling everybody around.
I'll be here the whole time. Kind of.
Somebody's got to hold
Not
down
really.
the fort.
That's okay.
Ah!
Right people. Stay safe. Whoa, I'm going the wrong direction. Triple laser, what does it mean?
Triple laser!
All the way across the
does it
sky. All the way across the sky. Oh, Laser Kid. Wish I was near any of those. If you guys hit up the Salt Lake City Comic-Con in July, I'll definitely stop by.
Ooh,
Oh, we definitely
interesting idea.
yeah, we have to start kind of breaking down and looking at all the festivals and conventions and whatnot and figuring out what we'll be doing. As you all know, there's the other side of this as well that is Imagos Films, and we have a lot of things going on that side as well. It's just a big family of media. So, yeah, we have to kind of figure out how to balance all of that right now.
I like how if you're too slow with the boss, he's just like, F you, and just flies away.
Kaz just got upset like I do. Anyhow, so yeah, we're working that out and trying to figure out all the places that we will be going to keep spreading the Starr Mazer love. Did we host a party? Rafa asked if I will be hosting by myself on Thursday. I will not. We still have to. We have to see what we're doing for Thursday. It will not be me. So we're working that out right now.
Oh, they want to see more Zook? They love you, man.
I'm sure it's funny at the very least. Oh, you're playing a big guy with a mouth and teeth and stuff. Yeah, I'll probably do what you guys will get when I host it by myself. The gameplay, it'll probably be something like Madden. It'll be, or what's the old the motorcycle game?
Excite Bike.
Excite Bike.
That's such a great game.
Excite Bike might be a one. You've never seen me rage so hard as when I'm playing Excite Bike. So, not Thursday though. We'll figure that out.
We'll have something for you guys.
No, don't apologize. Even though we've mentioned the schedule like 40 times now, we also fly by the seat of our pants. I've never understood what that expression means, but that's what we do. I think the only place I'll be able to see y'all this year is Indiecade. Well, stop on by then at Indiecade. That's all right. We'll take that. Any UK Starr Mazer plans.
Ooh, nothing in the pipeline yet, but
Yeah.
any reason to go overseas, that would be cool. I would be down.
We're certainly, yeah, we would like to take it everywhere.
Yeah. Spread the word.
Sorry. It's been a long day. I'm very short on clever words. But yeah, we'll see about that.
Zappy.
Oh, toast beef. I'm not... I don't know if I'll be taking over home base. I mean, I do have cats to feed here. That has to happen. But I don't know if we want me piloting this ship, as it were.
You want to sit in front of the camera and say hello to all the wonderful mazers out there?
Well, I mean, I'll give it my best. What I might actually do is that I might just like hijack the entire thing and use you all as like to work on my acting auditions and monologues. You guys can tell me if it sucks or not. That could be a fun day, and I'd like end in tears. Oh, Humble Bumble makes a bundle full of retro PNC games. Kaz might know what that means more than I do.
Humble Bundle is basically like a little shop that you can buy.
I called it Humble Bumble, that's why. See? That's where I am. I was thinking of Humble Bumble from the Rudolph. The Claymation.
Huh.
You know what I'm talking about?
No,
Christmas
I do
special.
not.
It's like super old. That's the, Yukon Cornelius and the Humble Bumble.
I don't recall the classic.
Why am I the only one who knows
Christmas
what a Humble
Claymations.
Bumble is?
I'm sure somebody on the stream knows.
Someone has to know what the Humble Bumble is in Yukon Cornelius. It does sound like an excellent game about bees, but it's actually the Abominable Snowman, just said wrong by Yukon Cornelius. So, if you hit up PAX Prime, we'll have to grab lunch one day. Fuziski.
I'm sure we will hit up PAX Prime since it's basically in our backyard.
And, yeah, we would. There'd be something potentially wrong with our switches if we didn't go to that. I think we'll be there.
Yeah. PAX Prime is also awesome. It's gigantic.
Ah! Laser Kid knows what I'm talking about. Cornelius sure made that Bumble humble. Thank you. Thank you for knowing what that is. It's out of season and potentially out of date, but I feel a lot better. So, folks, ooh, yep, go ahead. Looks like this is probably do I sense a Humble Bumble YouTube link right now? Yep. Thank you, Ian. If I am getting your name right.
I think of like the Christmas shows that I grew up with.
Oh, yes. I'm trying. Whoa, Yukon Cornelius is still going. Stop it, Yukon. Highway Hunter. I'm still sifting through some have you seen Highway Hunter in there? I'm still sifting through some couple days worth of emails, and I feel like I've seen Highway Hunter, and I need to give it a trial run. So thank you.
Oh, are they talking about Humble Bundles?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I have gotten a few emails with Humble Bundles in them, and I've accepted them. There's been one instance where I've gotten a couple of Steam messages with Humble Bundle links that I have not gotten quite yet. I do have them written down though, so I will eventually get to them. It was just like during that stream there was too much going on. I just haven't gotten around to it.
A lot of things happening.
Lots of things happening down here at HQ.
Ah, see, check it out. This toast beef. This is a Bumble stream now. Yes. Fuziski, that was aimed at oh, but I'll bring you guys some. Oh, okay. So you were talking about at the convention that was okay. Gotcha.
What's going on?
Fuziski, he was talking about for the PAX Prime. It was actually directed at Ian.
Ah.
Yeah. We are getting your name right.
Now, what do you think these guys look like?
I want to be here without a Santa.
Oh, maybe they're octopuses. I don't know. It just looks like they're not facing me.
this right here what you're fighting?
No. You'll see him. It looks like somebody's doing math back there.
I haven't even made it to a boss yet. Dude, that's your second one.
Oh, that's not a boss. That's just like some strong enemy.
I think I'll get out GoldenEye too. GoldenEye for 64.
That would be
should
good.
happen.
But I mean, that really doesn't have anything to do with Starr Mazer. But it is horrifyingly awesome. So much fun.
Do you... Okay, so Cerberus asks, when will Humble Bundle put out another bundle? I am new to it.
They usually do it every week, sometimes every month. They have mobile bundles, they'll have ebook bundles, they'll have like Steam or PC games. Yeah, they have all this cool stuff. Just keep an eye on them.
Ian says, what doesn't GoldenEye 64 have to do with Starr Mazer?
So true.
So true.
You know, my favorite thing about GoldenEye, and this is kind of lost on today's games, is the use of cheat codes. Because usually cheat codes, like, you get them and like you just use them to beat the game real quick or something. But in GoldenEye, you usually use cheat codes to like have fun and try new things. And getting cheat codes felt like a real endeavor because you had to beat it level on like hard mode in a certain amount of time. So I'm curious if anything might happen like that in Starr Mazer, or what Starr Mazer's stance on cheat codes might be.
Ooh, yeah, it's something I actually haven't talked about.
Will we have cheat codes? Will you earn them? Will it just be a simple button press? Will they be useful, like you cannot die, infinite life, infinite everything? Or will they be like more fun, like everything has a big head, or like everybody hates you?
Yeah, Ian's given us a lot of recommendations for for this relation to GoldenEye. Ask, will Starr Mazer have DK mode? What about paintball mode? Can I set Starr Mazer to slaps only? God, that would be fun.
Now, slaps only was not a cheat code though. That was just a multiplayer rule set.
It's awful how satisfying it was to like run around and be even just like sneak up on somebody. It's the same thing as like pistol whipping or in Call of Duty. I mean, it's pretty fun. Or knifing.
But I don't think in GoldenEye you couldn't one-hit kill people with slaps with the karate chops.
That's true.
Even if you were behind them.
This is a good question. Cerberus asks, excuse me, when you're fighting a boss in Starr Mazer, will their armor slowly fall off the more you damage it? So kind of like this stuff.
Yeah, so basically, like you can start to see the damage that you're doing to the boss. I would certainly hope so, because that is an art style that I really like from shmups. But I mean, it'll definitely come down to what Austin and Don feel is best, as well as scope, because I'm sure we're gonna want to create levels first and create awesome story and dialogue, and then if we can and art supports it, then we could probably generate some more art assets to create these awesome, like, blowing away boss bits.
Tiny brick code, Cerberus recommends.
Tiny brick?
Tiny brick. That could be fun. Let's see. Otashi Gami said big head mode? Question mark. The brick's already set to big head mode. Oh,
yeah. Oh, nice
snap. Snap. That was all the clever I had left for the day. Will you put the Konami code in the game?
Konami code.
Konami code.
Up, down, EA start. I don't know what it would give you.
I wonder if that's like trademarked.
That I don't know actually. So that's another thing we're running into. You know, it was like copyright infringement. I don't know if like anybody does have like a sequence of button presses trademark, although it is pretty much synonymous with Konami.
Yeah. I see you all got the big head mode for brick. Thank you. Konami code infinite smokes. Ian says. Ian also, prior to that, asked or said, I can't remember if it was only in Ratatouille or if it was in Kazooie as well, but playing as a washing machine was one of my favorite things in the Banjo series.
Huh. I've never played the Banjo-Kazooie series. You played as a washing machine?
That sounds difficult.
That sounds awesome.
See how hard it is for me to even fly a jet.
Now, that's something we should bring up. Should our codes be like helpful or absolutely
Like
ridiculous?
Little random things, like you can play as a piece of toast now. And I only said toast because of beef toast earlier. I think that's where I made that connection. That wasn't even clever. Yes. Oh gosh.
Is it? Oh wow! We've already been streaming for 2 hours.
Wowzers.
All right. Well, we can't stream
Toast beef?
forever. Toast beef.
No, toast beef. Yeah, the toast shout out. A piece of beef toast.
I want
whatever
to
that
say
would look
toast
like.
beef. I do love your username.
I want to know what its origins are, personally, or if it just came in a
One day,
moment.
the
One day.
epiphany came that you could cut a piece of beef into like the size of a piece of bread and then put it in your toaster.
Uh-oh. Chat is free.
Oh, it's because this computer keeps going to sleep. I'm sorry, guys. Let me wiggle the mouse around. There we go.
Hold on. Sorry.
Fixed. Wiggled the mouse.
Because the master of it and the controller has to actually operate both today.
Yeah, usually you guys don't see me.
Says toast beef is the dumbest thing ever. I think some of my own idioms I refer to as the dumbest thing ever too, so I feel you. I still think it's strange and interesting.
I think it's an interesting name. I don't think it would be a very good culinary treat.
No, just like
Toasted
beef. Or toasted. Well, I don't know. That kind of sounds like a steak that just got a little caramelized.
Yeah, I guess maybe if you toasted it fast enough where like the inside was still kind of rare and juicy.
Yeah. See, you can. Butter.
A little bit of butter.
Toasted a little bit of butter. Can you keep going?
What do you mean?
You're still playing.
Yeah, I was gonna keep on streaming until I died. I got 7 lives. I was gonna just go one last hurrah and try it out.
7 lives. I lose 8 of those lives in the first 30 seconds. Ew, worms!
Yeah, this is like a parasite level.
I hate it.
Like, see that little worm right there?
Yeah.
They're trying to give you like intestinal worms to eat all your food and steal it.
All of your bulletses from your ships.
Mm-hmm.
This is awful. This is so gross.
Now, as aliens though, you would have to say this is pretty effective imagery though.
Well, I mean, yes. No, I think that's the thing, is that it unnerves me. So yeah, it's really good.
Don't you like worms? Worms.
I mean, I know there's a use for them. I know they have a purpose in life. I don't like to see them get hurt. I also don't want them near me. We've got the, Laser Kid said, when I was a kid, my favorite codes were level selects. Not sure if that would work for Starr Mazer.
Yeah, I guess because we're doing it kind of based around how you play, building the different episodes around you, I don't think a level select would do well. Maybe the only thing I can think of is like if somehow you beat the game, you cleared everything, if there would be a way to like play a specific episode over again. But then you would also, in Starr Mazer, we also take into account basically everything that you've done. So the only way I could see that working is if you were able to physically set, the variables of your entry coming into the scenario. Be like, Brick has done this, Brick has not done this, Brick has angered this faction, Brick has made friends with this faction. That's the only way I could see like a level select in Starr Mazer working, though I honestly don't think it would be very effective. Again, this is not my domain. This is something totally for Austin and Don to discuss. Now, for me, I would totally tweet all about it. That's my job. I would be like, yo, Starr Mazer's got level select.
This is great. So, toast beef, addressed the origins of toast beef. When I was in middle school, people would say toast beef sometimes because apparently they found a drawing of a piece of toast next to a cow and I picked it up. That's not what I thought the origins would be at all. That's very literal origins. Not what I expected.
Wait. So he found a picture of toasted beef?
A picture of toast.
Oh.
A drawing of toast, and it was next to a cow.
Okay.
So he picked it up, and people called him toast beef. What is it? Yes, and Sabira says, make an autobiography. The origin of toast beef. Meet your maker.
Ha!
Meet as in meat.
That's awesome.
Ian says, one time when I was a kid, I completely accidentally entered the level select button sequence on Sonic 3D Blast, and I think that's still the only time I've ever beaten that game.
Sonic 3D Blast was a terrible game, though.
One so terrible that you can only stumble upon level select.
I remember I've only stumbled onto one code by accident. It was, I don't know, some old like Sega Genesis fighting game. And it was, all the fighters were arranged in a row, so if you just held down left or right, it would cycle through them, and I just held it down. And eventually, after cycling through about 6 times, it opened up a secret character. That's all you did, and I was like, that's interesting.
Oh, look out for the little creepy, like, Silent Hill looking things on wheels. Ooh, Silent Hill. Toast beef. Jesus, I've been trying to find a new handle that isn't toast beef, because the name's origin is so silly, but everyone likes it so. And it's Cerberus. I'll have that quote in my autobiography. Excellent. And
I like the handle toast beef, because it reminds me of 2 things I really like. Toast and beef.
So, Otashigami says, Sonic Bust!
Yeah.
All sorts of pun-tastic things happening here today. Laserkid says, perhaps a more appropriate Starr Mazer cheat code would be a reputation slider mode. Let's make X person love me, or let's make X person love me and Y faction hate me for the goals. Probably. Oh, what?
OP.
Some kind of ending. I'm smart. Some kind of ending penalty for using it, but could be fun to experiment. I see where you're going there.
I think that could be something interesting to play with, like on a per episode basis. Just like on this random episode, where you're trying to just, I don't know how that would work, because I also think that could potentially like break the game. Like if like you had to do something objectively for it, and then like all the factions hated you, and that would cause them to not like offer you the things that you needed to complete the missions.
That's good. Yeah, you broke that one down rapidly.
I don't know. I mean, these are all cool ideas.
Full to Dream says cheat code to fly at the Sun Spear.
Ooh, there you go. Like changing your ship.
Yeah.
New ships to pilot. That would be fun. Pilot an enemy ship. Pilot Slimo's thing.
But yeah, good point. Ian says, I don't think Brick even wants to do that.
Nope.
Brick would not admit it, even if something happens to the Star Wolf. So, folks, we're
Boss is totally wrecking me.
Kaz is just playing until he's out of lives.
And then we got work to do.
Got work to do, yeah. So, any final thoughts or notes? Feel free to throw them out there.
Yeah, hit us up with your questions. We have the answers. I was gonna say A's, and then I was like, no.
Well, Toast Beef says, has the Starr Mazer crew played Enemy Mine before?
I have not. We have not
We
played
have not.
Enemy Mine. Now, Dawn and Vanessa maybe, but we have not.
Would not surprise me, yes. I'm assuming, what console is it for? Let us know what console it's for. Maybe we could track it down here.
Maybe we can, yeah.
I could also Google it, but done a lot of typing today. And you saw how hard I was working the opposables earlier when I was dying, so there's that.
Typing's hard. Googling's hard.
Life is so hard.
know, my favorite thing is always when somebody asks you a question like that you can Google, and you do the whole "let me Google that for you," which creates like little flash animations of like pulling up Google and then typing whatever they asked you into Google and answering it. Have you never seen that?
I think I have.
Just Google "let me Google that for you," and it's like, what do you want to search for? And then it will create the animation for you that you will send to your friends or family that asks you.
That's fantastic. So you type into Google, "let me Google that for you."
Yeah, so I mean, like, they're like, how many inches are in a foot? And then you go to "let me Google that for you," and then you type that in, and then it'll create an animation for you that you send to them that basically has like the Google bar and like a cursor going to it and then typing in how many inches are in a foot and then pulling up all the results.
That's fantastic. I like it a lot. I like this thing that looks like a brain with an eyeball, and the brain's hungry. Like every cell of it is hungry, and it's throwing peanuts. It's
Yeah, it
throwing
looks like
circus peanuts at you.
Ah, I hate that candy.
It's gross. The last thing you'd want a brain to throw at you is circus peanuts. Sorry, I killed you with my voice.
Oh, that's fine. Circus peanuts got me.
Oh, Toasty says, so Enemy Mind is a very interesting shmup where the main game mechanic is to move from ship to ship through telepathy.
Huh.
Because every ship has limited ammo/health, and it is pure chaos with 4 players.
That sounds very interesting.
Sounds right up our alley.
4 players, get all of us in there. Ah, that is unfair how these guys are just popping up from the sides.
Ew, God, more body stuff. It's like eyeballs.
You're really averse to like the whole organic enemy thing.
And yeah, it weirds me out. Well, just when like something that's like eyeballs also looks like meatballs. I have a weak stomach, actually.
Really?
I really do. I really do. I won't actually throw up, but looking at it makes me really uncomfortable.
That took too long. Boss just leaves.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of cats,
Got him!
here come some of the little devils.
Well, I guess we can end with the cats because the cats are really the draw.
The cats are the draw. They're always the draw. Alright.
Any last questions?
45 minutes until NVIDIA is holding a press conference. Any guess what they are going to show today?
Oh, that's NVIDIA.
NVIDIA?
That I don't know. I have no idea what they're gonna show there at GDC. You have to keep an eye out. Maybe it'll be like a new shield or something, a new controller for your shield. I don't know. Maybe a new graphics processor. What they're gonna do after the 900 series.
This sounds like tech talk, which I don't know.
Yep, they're getting shield too.
Alright.
Cool.
So, folks.
Well, I guess this is going to conclude Starr Mazer Television for today. I was your host, Kazuo Maeda, and this was
Mahria Zook, actor and associate producer, joining in.
So, this was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed playing some Phalanx. Sorry that we weren't able to beat it. We'll beat one of these games one of these days on stream for you. But yeah, it was fun. Love this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it again. We will be back Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with, we haven't decided quite yet, but we'll have something for you guys. So be sure to tune in.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us today and enduring my gameplay.